Chapter 8. He must smell of mimosa. Now listen closely, Xanthippus said. Let's think systematically, my dear students. First, before Paulino arrives in Rome, he must find the letter. That's an axiom. An axiom? What's that? Flavius asked. An axiom is a principle that is immediately evident and needs no proof. You should really know that by now. I just forgot. I hope you still remember Euclid. The boys wondered what Euclid might have to do with the letter. I know who Euclid is, said Antonius, raising his hand. He's the man who invented the shortest line between 2 points. His friends laughed. Udo did too. Quiet, Xanthippus thundered. Antonius, is that supposed to be funny, perhaps? Certainly not, Antonius said, beaming. The man meant it seriously. Xanthippus sighed. Euclid was the greatest mathematician of Greece. In his famous Elements of Geometry, he established that there is only a single straight line between 2 points. That is an axiom. The boys didn't understand how a straight line could help them. Master Xanthos, Julius said, I'm afraid Udo hasn't the faintest idea of what cellar the cloak is lying in. It's hopeless to think of finding the letter. A man who no longer hopes no longer lives, Xanthippus said. Just as a dead tree cannot bring forth new leaves, Udo, he said, come over here and sit there across from me. Udo jumped up and sat on a crate at Xanthippus's feet. He looked at him expectantly. Swear by all your gods that you have told the truth and nothing but the truth. I swear by all my gods that I have told the truth and nothing but the truth, Udo said. Xanthippus nodded. Now, my son, you say you have been Paulino's personal slave. Do you have any hint of who's to be murdered? No, noble master. Did you ever happen to hear why your lord wanted to have a famous senator put out of the way? Once I heard fragments of a conversation that could have had some connection with the assassination plot, Udo said. About 2 months ago, a man came to visit my lord. Over dinner they were talking in a strange way. It struck me that they fell silent every time I came in to serve them, but I did pick up a few scraps of conversation, though only outside the door, he admitted, smiling. Once my lord said, There's just one man who could be dangerous to us. He's said to be a famous senator. My spies still don't know who he is, but they're on the scent. He absolutely must be done away with, or else we are not safe. My lord also spoke of a cage he was having transported to Rome. A cage? Xanthippus was astonished. I know what cage he was speaking about. In the cage was a wild bear, a gift from my lord to the zoological gardens in Rome. I was there when the cage was lifted onto the wagon by 24 legionnaires. There were 12 draft oxen in harness to pull it. 24 legionnaires and 12 draft oxen? Antonius cried. That can't have been a bear. It was a mammoth. Quiet, Xanthippus said. Then, too, I heard my lord and the man frequently mention General Varus and the Teutoburg forest. What that has to do with the plan to murder a senator is a riddle to me. To me also, Xanthippus said. Of course, there are a great many wild bears in Germania. But there was only one Varus, and he is dead. He looked at his students. Attention! What do you know about Varus, eh? Varus, Antonius said. I don't know him. Never heard of him, Publius put in. Varus seemed to be an unknown celebrity to the others, too. Very sad, Xanthippus said. It's about time I refreshed your knowledge of history a bit. 11 years ago, Augustus, the dead emperor, sent Varus along with 3 of his best legions to Germania to put down a revolt. Unfortunately, the Germans turned the tables. Under the leadership of their national hero Hermann, they attacked Varus and his legionnaires in the Teutoburg forest, and beat him so badly only a handful of legionnaires escaped. Varus himself committed suicide. It was one of the most catastrophic defeats the Roman Empire has suffered. When Emperor Augustus heard the news, he is supposed to have collapsed in tears and lamented for days, "Varus, Varus, give me back my legions." I imagine the loss of the 3 banners, with the Roman eagle and the military cash-box Varus had with him, hurt the most. There were supposed to have been 100,000 gold pieces in it, pay for the legionnaires. That's 10 million sesterces. They still haven't been found. "Caius?" Xanthippus shouted. "Are you listening, or are you asleep?" Caius started from his seat. "No," he said, "I'm wide awake." "All right, then repeat. What did Emperor Augustus cry out when he heard of Varus's defeat?" "Augustus? Augustus," Caius stammered. "Oh, I've got it. He is supposed to have constantly mumbled to himself, 'Varus, Varus, give me back my millions.'" The others rocked with laughter, including Udo. Even Xanthippus snickered. "Caius, you're hopeless," he said. Then he grew serious. "Quiet, please," he said. "Unfortunately, the motive for the planned assassination remains as dark as the Teutoburg forest, though something is dawning on me that I must first think through logically. What we must pursue with all our energy is finding the letter. The motive won't be of any help to the man who's murdered. What we need to find is the cellar where Udo's cloak is lying." He turned to Udo. "You said that when you were running away from the cemetery in the Via Salaris, you flew through many narrow and winding streets, right?" "Yes, noble master." "Were the streets lined on both sides with houses?" "Yes, I wasn't able to see at night, but the next morning, when I was fleeing from the woman who took a swing at me with her broom, I ran past nothing but tall buildings." "The buildings were brick, were they not?" "That's right, noble master. They were so tall I was amazed. Many must have been at least 7 stories high. I didn't know there were such high buildings anywhere." "Good," Xanthippus said. "Those are the new apartment buildings in the district between the Viminal and Quirinal hills. I think already we're getting closer to the answers to our questions." "Excuse me, Master Xanthus," Mucius said. "I happen to be familiar with the area. It's loaded with new apartment buildings there. How can we expect to find the cellar of a definite building? Rome's smallest streets don't have a name or a number. Worse luck." "Maybe you'd prefer we wait till a good-natured god comes along to lead you there by the nose, eh?" Xanthippus said. As a precaution, Mucius didn't say anything. "My dear boy, I have preached to you often enough that the gods gladly bestow their favors upon him who helps himself, and I'm around to see that we help ourselves. So kindly don't interrupt me again." He turned back to Udo. "Now think carefully. Did you fall asleep as soon as you lay down in the cellar?" "No, noble lord. I was too excited. I listened for a while to make sure no one would come and take me off guard." "Excellent," Xanthippus said. "I heard horses neighing in the night, also a grinding noise, as if 2 stones being rubbed against each other." "Any other sounds?" "Directly above me, I kept hearing the clang of metal. It sounded like swords striking together, and a man was shouting in a rasping voice, 'Hail, Emperor! We, about to die, salute you.'" Xanthippus raised his brows in wonder. This answer from the young slave Udo seemed to confuse him. He was silent for a while, deep in thought. Suddenly he smiled. Very probably, that must be it," he said mysteriously. "Udo, you smelled a strong scent of mimosa, did you not?" Udo was dumbfounded. "Noble master, how do you know that?" He stared at Xanthippus as a child stares at a magician. "I actually did smell mimosa. Yes, the odor was so strong that it almost made me sick." "Very gratifying, magnificent," Xanthippus said. He rapped his cane with gusto on the crate where Udo was sitting and shouted, "Young men, go get the cloak and the letter without delay. It's in the cellar of a gladiator school opposite a soap factory. The building is in the 3rd side street that runs from the long street to Samita Street." The boys were flabbergasted.